Amazon's wage announcement has generated praise from influential figures on both the right and the left of the political aisle.
Higher wages, terrific. By the way, more people working and prospering, you've heard me say this before, is not inflationary. It's a good thing, not a bad thing.
There is absolutely now no reason why other profitable corporations like Walmart, like the fast food industry, like retail in general, and other employees, no reason now why they also should not be paying their employees at least $15 an hour.
Well, while there's been mounting pressure from political leaders, Amazon raised its minimum wage without any mandate from the government. But there are bills in Congress for a $15 minimum wage hike. So is government interference necessary for more wage increases? Joining us now to discuss it is Jimmy Pethokoukis, economic policy analyst at the American Enterprise Institute, and Chris Liu, former deputy labor secretary under President Obama, now senior fellow at the University of Virginia Miller Center. Jimmy, where do you see this political debate moving? Is it toward more pressure for retailers and others to follow in Amazon's footsteps, or for the federal government to just go ahead and lift the federal minimum wage, which is stuck at a very low level?
Yeah, listen, there is a great deal of difference between arguing for a higher federal minimum wage moved up incrementally over a long period of time versus a fight for 15, let's go to 15. That option, I have no doubt, would mean fairly severe job loss, teenagers, low-income workers. There's just no research that says that would not be bad for jobs. Now, if you're saying, again, raise it very, very slowly, that's one thing. But there are very few economists who would say a national $15 minimum wage could be accomplished without really severe employment disruption.
Chris, do you agree or disagree?
Well, I agree that the minimum wage needs to be increased. It has not been raised since 2009. It currently has a lower buying power than in 1950. What is incredible is this is far from a living wage right now. A family of two earning $7.25, which is the federal minimum wage, would be living in poverty. There is nowhere in the country right now where you can afford a two-bedroom apartment on $7.25 an hour. So it does need to be increased. And what is hopeful in the face of federal gridlock is that 29 states and the District of Columbia have already raised their minimum wage. So the federal government has fallen far behind.
Do you think a national $15 wage makes sense?
Well, look, I think it needs to be increased, and I think we could have a debate about where it should be, particularly. Well, I think particularly in low-wage areas like the South, I think we can have an argument about whether 15 is too high. But certainly 7.25, that's been this way since 2009, is way too low.
I guess I don't understand why the emphasis is in why the low-risk option is obviously increasing, expanding the earned income tax credit, where you really don't find these sorts of employment disruption. But yet the focus is on the minimum wage, and the only reason I can figure that's the case is because that seems like there's no cost. Where EITC, it goes on taxpayers. Of course, there is a cost to both, and the EITC is such a better option. I don't know why the debate isn't there.
Chris?
Well, look, let's look at the approach that this administration and this Republican Congress have tried, which has put it squarely on taxpayers, which is a $1.5 trillion tax cut that this administration promised would lead to a $4,000 pay raise. And what we have seen is anything but that. A small, tiny fraction of companies.
What does that have to do with the EITC?
If Congress were willing to address EITC instead of doing tax reform 2.0, I would be all for that. But
I know you like it. I know in your heart you like this EITC idea. That's obviously a great idea.
Jimmy, just to switch the debate on this a little bit, do you think Amazon is going to regret kind of making this move following political pressure, whether it was because of the political pressure or not? Is it going to lead to a slippery slope of having to kind of respond given the wealth of their owner and given the size of their market share?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's understandable sort of the political angle of why they did this, putting aside that it may actually be really good business for them. And I really wish they would have helped make this argument that it's not bad if your employees take advantage of the social safety net. That's far better for them to have jobs and to also take advantage of the social safety net rather than just not have jobs at all. I wish they would make that argument because I think that there is a bit of a slippery slope there. But listen, anytime a company wants to raise wages of their own volition, fantastic.